Hey, hey, hey. Give me an audio check when you guys get a chance. I have both of the chats up, so I should be able to see it relatively quickly. So let me know when you can hear me. We will get started. Wait for the other screen to load, and we'll jump into this. I think there's like a 30-second delay when it first starts. All right. Phone's going off. There we go. Let me turn that down. Looks like we're live there. All right. Audio check. Audio check. Waiting for my admins to get in. Good. All right. Good. All right, great. So yeah, it's definitely showing up on the other chat before it does the StreamYard. So let me know what you guys think about Friday at 8 p.m. for the Q&A. I know that Sunday's a little weird because a lot of you guys are working the next day. You got things going on. It's just not working. So let me know if you guys like Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll keep doing it. Now, as you guys know, the live stream continues on for as long as we have questions. So if we go 20 minutes, we run out of questions, we end the stream. If we go 2 hours, I don't think we're going to go 2 hours, but if we go 2 hours, then we'll keep going. But yep. So I do have some announcements. As you guys can see, the banner at the bottom. This is a little promotion I have going on. I'm going to try it out and see how it does because a lot of you guys like buying coral and 3D printed items. So for every $100 that you spend before shipping on coral, you get one free 3D printed item of your choice. And that could be anything. All right. So, so for every $100, if you spend $200, you get 2 items, and you guys can do the math and so on and so on. So what's going to happen is you'll just check out, and I'll send you an email saying, hey, are you interested in the free 3D printed item? And then you just tell me, yes, I want this joking thing. And then I will print it and send it out with the order. So, yeah, you guys can start putting questions in. I have a couple more announcements, so we're going to do that. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty sweet deal. A lot of you guys like buying 3D printed items, so what the heck, man? It's not crazy to spend a little bit on 3D print. It's basically I'm just paying for filament, and it's not a huge deal, a little bit of time, so it's not too much of an issue for me. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I said that I had to switch my bottle provider for my NO3, PO4, and phytoplankton. So I actually had to go to another wholesaler and got slammed with shipping. It's like $85, but I did get 600 bottles, which is good. It lasts me. This time of year is a little bit slower than average, so usually that will last me about a month, but I should get like 2 months out of this, hopefully, depending on just based on the projections that I have so far on my QuickBooks. But anyway, we're going to be using black bottles for the NO3 and the PO4 and clear bottles for the phytoplankton, and this is just going to happen until my original wholesaler starts. I guess they said that they're not going to get anything back in stock for 18 weeks. 18 weeks, they're not going to get my normal stuff back in stock. So I'm not sure if it's COVID related or whatever is going on, but yeah, so a little bummed about that, but you just kind of have to go to a different wholesaler. The prices will stay the same on the NO3 and PO4. I'm not going to make any adjustments based on me having to pay extra. It's not a big deal. But yeah, so let's go ahead and move into some questions. We had Billy here, who actually can't be in the stream. He's got to work tonight, so he put this question in before he left. Travis, hey, I wish I could catch your live streams, but because I work insane hours, I have to catch the replays. And speaking of that, I will not be letting this be monetized, because apparently when YouTube does monetize it on the replays, they put a ton of ads. So I'm going to make sure this doesn't get monetized. If you're seeing an ad right now, it's because I forgot. So I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comment section and I'll fix it. But anyway, if I could ask a question to your live stream, I'd ask you why I have most of my zoas opening and multiplying, but one of them is stubborn and won't open up anymore. They're all in the same area of the tank, same level, light flow, etc. It's bugging the crap out of me. Plus, what happened to your badass display refugium? So first part of that question, are they being touched by other zoas? Are they getting stressed out or shaded by other zoas? That's something I saw, which is kind of funny. Somebody put a comment in the video. It's interesting. If you guys remember the 125, the far left rock structure had those yellow zoanthids. They're palicorals. I mean, the whole entire rock, the whole bottom left side was completely covered in them. And he said that don't give advice because something I'm paraphrasing. Don't give advice because clearly that rock is covered in algae or some shit like that. So it was just funny, but no, it's actually zoas. And the problem I found with that rock structure is I also had some sunny D's in there and some Arctic ice, but they never were able to expand fully and do well because that other zoa or pally was kind of using up the resources of light and flow and everything, and it just kind of smothered the other zoa. So that's what I'm thinking, Billy, is maybe your other zoas are out competing and shading the zoa that's not doing very well. If not, then double check to see maybe if a pest of some kind might be targeting that particular zoanthid. That's always a possibility. Check to see if your fish are picking at it. Those are all things. And what you would want to do is check that stuff at night because that's when the critters come out to play. So yeah, check that first. Now for the second part of the question, what happened to your badass display refugium? Well, the only time I've had a display refugium was that little 20 gallon on the 125, and it was pretty dumb. It didn't look that great. So hopefully you're not talking about that. You might be talking about my imported system before I took it down. I don't know what, 6 months ago. No, I took it down last November. So 7 or 8 months ago, I used to have a 40 gallon breeder on the system in here, which was attached to my grow out, or not, yeah, my imported system, and I had some stuff in there, but that looked a lot better than that little dinky display refugium I used to have. But yeah, I wish I expanded on that more. I do like the idea of a display refugium, but other things got in the way, so I wasn't able to expand on it. So hopefully, Billy, you catch the replay, you get the question answered. Hopefully, I did a good job for you, and hopefully, you can catch the next live stream. And hopefully, I don't say hopefully anymore. This whole thing. Click clack. Hey, what's up, man? Let's see what we got here. Catching up on questions here. What's up, Reef and Chill? How you guys doing? Bumpkin. Question. Have you ever used fluconazole? I'm trying to kill off some bryopsis on the live rock. Lots of people say it works, but I can't find any info on the side effects. I have not personally, but I know that Mike Lemming, I don't know if he's in here tonight. If he is, what's up, man? He's used it before. He's talked about it before, and it's done a good job. A lot of people, I know another guy who has an SPS tank that did it with no negative effects. It worked fine, but he did under the recommended amount. Now, if you're going to use fluconazole, I would suggest doing more research than just asking here on the live stream, because I haven't personally used it. I can't give you the greatest information. Now, I do believe, and you don't have to quote me on this, I do believe that elevated magnesium levels will also kill off bryopsis. I'm not talking like 2,000 parts per million. I'm talking about like 1,600 parts per million, which is a little bit higher than the 1,350 that they recommend. So consider trying that first before dropping that in there. It's worth a shot. Just go slow with it. As you guys know, magnesium can go through the roof pretty quickly. And speaking of magnesium, I was going to do a video this week on it, but I took my magnesium level from the 1250 to 1330 in about 4 days. You guys know that I switched to that ARM, I believe it is, media for the calcium reactor because I wasn't able to get reborn. So I went ahead and used this new media, which was extra coarse, and it said high levels of magnesium or high magnesium level media, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it says it on the container. So what I usually do every month is when I top off my calcium reactor, I'll put ReaMag in there to keep the magnesium level elevated. But I didn't do it over the last few months because I'm trying out this new media, and since I said it had high levels of magnesium, I thought it would be okay. But kept an eye on the Trident, and it was saying that the magnesium was dropping down. So I went in there and dropped a whole bunch of ReaMag, and then I dosed a gallon of the third part of the BRS2 part, the magnesium supplement, in the tank over 3 days, and brought the levels up. I ordered some more, and I'll finish that, get it back to my normal 1350 or so over the next week or so. I'll do that. But anyway, not sure I got on that yet, talking about magnesium, but give it a shot, man. Do more research. I wish I could help you out, but I don't. I've never used it. So yeah. Will or can a rose bubble tip anemone sting or kill rock flower anemones? I'm not sure. I do know that rock flower anemones can be pretty temperamental, so I'm not sure on that. Rose bubbles can be. I mean, they'll kill coral real quick. I can tell you that, Amber. But I'm not sure about other anemones. I know that bubbles are fine. Bubbles and long tentacles are fine. I'm assuming because the rock flower anemone is considered a nem. I mean, the only way you're going to know is if you put them near each other. And there's something that you can do actually in a basket. If you have the ability to do that, you can put them in a basket inside the tank. I wouldn't say drop the rock flower in the mouth area of the rose bubble, but put them near each other a little bit. You'll know pretty quick if they're not going to get along. One will obviously dominate the other one will be stung, and you can remove them and separate them relatively quickly so it won't actually cause permanent damage. So, check that out. It's worth a shot. And hey, if you do that, come back to the live stream next week and tell me what the results are, because I don't have any of either of those, and I can't do it for you. So let me know. All right. I'll take a 3D printer. Yeah, you and me both, man. Travis, when are you moving and putting up the 1,000? In the works of going through everything with that now. I just got my approval letter through the VA today, which is really nice. I've been waiting on that. I'm actually working with. I just sent out some stuff to HRC in Fort Knox to get some of my awards fixed on my DD214, which I didn't really realize. I didn't pay attention to it until recently, so I'm going through that as well. So I'm just trying to get the little things out of the way. I'm going to talk to a contractor and go through that whole process. But looking to break ground in the spring, if everything lines up. It just depends. Now, if I have to wait a little bit longer, that's fine. I'm not overly anxious to move right now because the business is doing very well. All the tanks are doing extremely well. The coloration in the 300, I know you guys are seeing an old video of the 300. I get it. I haven't updated it yet, but the coloration in the 300 is the best that it's ever been. I mean, it's just insane. The growth is really good. The coloration, I mean, you guys can see some of the pictures I put up. I put up a couple pictures of the green Slimer, which you guys were always saying looked like the yellow Slimer. Now it has been a little pale, and you can see it in this video as well. It's been like that for a while, but I just made some changes, and we'll talk about those in another video. And the coloration is just off the charts. It's so nice. Yeah, so we'll take care of that at some point. Yeah, I'll keep you guys in a loop. I mean, we'll go through the whole process. I'll show you guys the land. I mean, I'll keep you guys in a loop on that. I'm not going to hide anything from you guys. And I'm excited though. I am. Hey Shipwreck, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate it. That's a nice profile picture. Hopefully that's not you, man. Hi, do you ship to Australia? No, I do not. I have talked to, excuse me, I'm burping over here at dinner, but I have talked to quite a few people who have requested 3D printed items and stuff like that shipped overseas. I feel bad. I don't want to do that because you guys spend $20 on an item and then you spend $30, $40 on shipping. It's ridiculous. And there's no guarantee that you guys are going to get the item. So it's not fun. I don't ship outside the United States just because it's such a huge pain. Matt, what's up, Hex? What's going on, man? I was wondering what your thoughts on the RODI water setup and salt mixing station outside on a screened in porch. That's really the only space I have. I have no problem with that. Keep it out of direct sunlight. I know it's screened. If sunlight's coming in, I mean, I know that the planet rotates, and that's, you're going to get a little bit of shading, sometimes a little bit different between spring and winter, or spring and fall or whatever. But keep it out of direct sunlight. And if it's going to have sunlight on it, I would recommend going with a black RODI, just because it's going to block a lot of the sun. It's going to block any kind of light penetration into the water. I only say that because I don't know what the effects of sunlight with that particular plastic that you're using, and if it's going to leach or if anything's going to happen in the water. I mean, I don't know. I know that RODI water is already trying to pull things out of whatever it's touching because it has, zero, molecules are trying to attract other molecules just based on removing all this stuff through the deionization process. So I don't see any issue with that. Just try to keep minimal sun exposure, and you should be fine. Keep it covered. Just keep dust and, all sorts of stuff coming through the area. If you're having storms and crap getting picked up, you don't want that getting into your mixing barrel. Keep things covered, keep it out of the sun, and put it in an area where it's not going to go through your deck or your porch. I don't know how big you're going to have the system, but yeah, you should be good though. Can I dose your NO3 and PO4 while using Vibrant? I don't see why not. I know that the issue that people are having with Vibrant, and again, I have not used this product, is that your NO3 and your PO4 tend to bottom out because of whatever effects that Vibrant has. It's beneficial bacteria or whatever. I looked it up a while ago when we were really talking about it. You guys were asking about it, and I briefly read on it, but I left it at that. It's kind of one of those things when you're in high school and you get an assignment to read it, and you just read it for that time to complete that test, and then as soon as the test is over, it's like you never read it. That's basically what happened when I started looking up Vibrant. So I would do a little bit more research, but if your nutrients are bottoming out during that Vibrant process, then yeah, you might want to start dosing NO3 and PO4, just because once it gets to 0, you're going to start running into issues with your with Dino, and just in general, corals will be pretty stressed out. So appreciate everybody here. We got 65 people so far. At least that's what I'm seeing on my end. Appreciate everybody being here for this new time. And yeah, let's go to move on. I did a Triton test on my 120 gallon, and it came back with extremely high aluminum. Okay, I dosed Brightwell code and A and B, and I can only think my 3 bio bricks are contributing to this. How do I remove aluminum from the aquarium? Well, I'm guessing the bricks you have are marine pure, something like that, or some other type of. I know that marine pure is one of those things that was, when I did an ICP test, I ended up getting aluminum in my ICP test. And what I did is I just removed it, and then over water changes, basic water changes, over 3 or 4 months or something like that, I did another ICP test and it was gone. So, or at least it was in an appropriate level. So what I would do is remove what you think is a source, and what you said, it makes sense, being the bio bricks. So go ahead and remove those, and then just do normal water changes. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do any major water changes, because you're going to cause more damage than what the higher aluminum levels would have done. So yeah, you should be good with that. Travis, what phosphate level do you recommend for SPS? Pretty much the generic recommendation for all coral, 0.07 to 0.15 of phosphates. You know, that seems to be pretty common. I stay at the higher end. Sometimes I get up to 2. Just depends. It works out fine. Just stay within the recommended range. You'll be good. What is the acceptable alkalinity fluctuation over weeks time with SPS? My alkalinity fluctuates from 12.1 on Sunday to 12.4 on Wednesday, down to 12.2 on today. So what's today? Friday? Yeah. So, well, a couple things. Your alkalinity is too high in the first place. You need to get that down to an acceptable range. If you're seeing any kind of stress in your tank, it's probably because you have elevated alkalinity already. So get that down to a normal range. Over the next month or so, go slow. Don't do anything crazy. Let it come down to an average 8.5 or 9 or even 9.5, but stay away from those extremes. They recommend 7 to 12 DKH. If you're sitting at an extreme, either 7 and or 12 for long periods of time, you're going to cause unnecessary stress. So get your level to a normal range, and then it depends. Some SPS tanks are okay. Like my 125, 2 points of alkalinity fluctuation in the week. I mean, that caused pretty significant stress. But it didn't always cause stress. There's one thing you got to realize. It's not one factor that's going to cause stress or cause issues with your tank. It's usually multiple things. But if you have something like an extreme level of alkalinity that you currently have, then yeah, that can heighten or increase your chances of having an issue. So I would 1, get your level down, and 2, just try to keep it within a point. Okay, the fluctuation you have right now, 12.1 to 12.4 to 12.2, that's nothing. That's nothing. I wouldn't even stress about that. Most SPS tank, I don't know an SPS tank that wouldn't like that. Again, it depends. Every single system is different. That's one thing that you guys gotta understand. That not every single tank works the same or performs the same. My information I give you is just a guideline that you should follow, or you don't have to follow. I don't really care, but it's what I recommend you do, and you make your own adjustments per your system. So, but yeah, I'll get those levels down. That's pretty high. Yeah, there we go. Already tagging in there, man. What am I at? 807, 819. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. Not too bad. Do you do any for trace elements? I know you do the ICP test occasionally. So I'm going to do a full dosing video, again, an updating dosing video here in a month or so. And you guys have noticed I'm not really putting out very much content. I'll get to your question here in a second, Gabe. I might as well just talk about this while I can. You guys know that I've been getting slammed pretty hard from YouTube. Demonetized. Obviously, my mouth is is a contributing factor to that, because that's all that it really is. It's not like I'm in front of the camera jacking off or anything. So it's obviously me behind the camera in my mouth. So, yeah. So I've kind of backed my content up. I am moving over to BitChute. I do have videos uploaded on there. YouTube usually sends my new videos to BitChute already. I got to double check and see why they haven't over the last few weeks. But if you want to subscribe to me over there, you can. YouTube is a dying platform, and at least for me, and for a lot of people who are like me. I'll leave it at that. So I don't really know how long I'll be here for. But I will continue to upload content, at least 1 to 2 normal videos per week alongside a live stream like this. And that's the extent of it. I mentioned this before. There will not be any more rambling videos. There won't be any personal stuff. There won't be anything like that. I'm going to keep the swearing pretty much non-existent for the occasional slip up. I mean, somewhere to do. I'm going to be a good boy. I know a lot of you guys were sending me emails saying, don't change who you are. I'm not changing who I am. I'm just adjusting because right now, a lot of the business I get on my website comes through YouTube. And I have 4 years on this platform. I got a lot of work on this platform, and I'd hate to throw it all away because of my potty mouth. So I'm going to play nice for as long as I can until I get a good following on another platform, and then I'm going to jump ship. That's just kind of how it is. And that's it. You know, I'm here to create content, give you the information that I feel is what you guys need to know, and that's it. There's not really it's the way it is, you know. Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but that's just the way the world is. You guys know. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot. You'd have to be dropped in your head with force from a very high level to not see what's going on around us. So just adjusting because I don't really have a choice. I have mouths to feed and I have things that I have to do. And sometimes you got to play the game for a little bit until you get enough good moves that you can win it. So anyway, back to Gabe stuff. When it comes to elements, trace elements, stuff like that, you guys know that I dose aquavitral fuel, and I was doing, I'm not doing it now, Brightwell Aquatics Aminos. I was doing that for a little bit. I haven't done that in a while. You guys know I was dealing with Dino a little bit ago. It's gone now. I just haven't really picked up the Aminos and stuff like that again, but that's pretty much it. I do have a whole bunch of other stuff that I do dose, and again, I'll do a separate video on that in the future if you want to see it. One thing you guys should know is if there's certain content that you want to see, it doesn't, if you go to a video that's even not related to that content, just be like, hey man, can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on that? Now, granted, I have a ton of topics that I already have covered. Like this week's video that's coming out is going to be, I haven't really decided on the title yet, but I do have the outline here. Is reef tank ugly phase a real thing, or is it a myth? So we're going to talk about that this week, and talk about ways that you can avoid it, and the way that it doesn't need to be there. So that will be the video that's coming out this week, and maybe I'll do something else depending on what's going on. Question: what trace elements do you dose, and how do you work out the dose? Okay, Andy's, we're going to talk about that in another video, buddy. But I do have one already on the channel where I do talk about everything that I dose. It's just not updated for what I dose right now, this moment. So keep that in mind. Hi, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, I told you my brother's name is Brandon, right? I'm pretty sure I told you that. I'm almost positive I told you. But anyway, yeah, I just bought some Chaeto and it died. Nitrates are around 10, PO4, 0.5, AI, Prime, Fuse Light. Any recommendations? It really depends on where you got it from. What it looked like when it come in. Was it kind of mushy? Was it thin out, like spaghetti, really thin spaghetti string? Was it more of a palish color? Sometimes you just get bad Chaeto. Sometimes I've had this issue when I ship it. Sometimes the heat gets to it. Gonna burp. Sometimes the heat gets to it during transit, and I have the issue with Fido sometimes. I've been shipping out Fido with ice packs lately because of fucking 95 degrees out. But anyway, what condition was it in when you got it? If your levels, your levels should justify growth, and you got the AI Prime Light, huge light, which I've never used it, but I mean, I've heard good things. The only thing I could tell you is if the Chaeto was good, it was luscious green, and it looked good, and then it died in your tank, I would say try another light because everything else seems fine. So consider trying another light, and then once it's established and adjust to your system, then go ahead and try it out, or try out the Prime Fuge light. So that's the best info I can give you, man. Hey, Travis, those Salford holsters are awesome. Was it hard convincing your family that this was going to be their main source of income? No, people don't really pay attention to my source of income. The 3D printing is pretty good. It's right now it's pretty active. I mean, the printer's been running nonstop 24 hours for like 4 months. And now that I have them upgraded, I'm able to do many orders very quickly. Right now, the biggest issue I have is getting filament. I ordered about $400 worth of filament the other day, and a lot of it's back ordered, so I don't know when I'm going to get it, but it is ordered. So once it's in stock, it will be shipped to me. Yeah, other than the filament running out, no issues with the 3D printing. The stuff is doing very well. And when we relocate, I'll be doubling my 3D printer. We'll have 10 3D printers in one room, all doing their own thing. Nice and organized, so I'm very excited to expand my 3D printing stuff. Now, because I haven't had a lot of free time, I haven't been able to sit down and create a lot of new things. But if there's something you guys want specifically that you think I should make, then just send me an email with a picture of it or what you think, your ideas, and we can go from there. All right? But, yeah, whatever pays the bills, man. Hi, Travis. I just set up my first skimmer. Do I turn it on when I add fish or soon as I set up the tank? Well, you can run it as soon as your tank sets up. You probably, if it's a brand new skimmer, it's your first system. It's brand new. I'm assuming it needs to break in anyway. So go ahead and turn it on. Take the cup off. Just turn it on. Let it run for a couple weeks, and then put the cup on and go from there. That just gives a break-in period. You didn't say what type it was. I know with Niles, there's not really a break-in period. Bubble Magus, there's barely one at all. I've never used the reef is it octopus? I believe that's what it's called. I've never used that skimmer, so I don't know what the break-in period time on that is. So yeah, depending on the brand, depends on how long it might take to start working. But just turn it on, take the cup off, and then you can really just add your skimmer as soon as the tank is cycled. As soon as you have nitrates and phosphates rolling, go ahead and turn that bad boy on, or you can just turn it on anyway. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna change anything. It's good. It's gonna add oxygen to the tank. It's gonna be a good thing. So, next question. I have a 6-inch deep sand bed. Should I have more? Should I have some? I guess that's more of inverts to turn around the sand from bottom, so that there would be transfer of air. You can. I'm not an expert on sand beds. You guys know I don't really rock them, but I had clients that did it. You can get those snails. I think they're N something maybe. I don't remember what it is, but they dig into the sand. They live in the sand bed, and then when you put food, they have the little snout sticking out. You can get sand sifting sea stars. What's the thing with a 6-inch deep sand bed is you're not going to want to mix that whole sand bed up. With it being that deep, you are going to get pockets of nitrogen gas that you don't want to be mixing up. You don't want that getting into your tank. So what I would do is maybe mix the first inch and a half of the sand bed. If you're cleaning and doing maintenance, do that. But I wouldn't go in there and start digging up 6 inches or probing dark spots in the sand that you see on the glass and stuff like that. I wouldn't go in there and start messing with a 6-inch sand bed. Most people in this hobby usually stick with an inch to 2-3 inches max, or they don't have sand at all. And that way you can get in there when you don't have a lot of sand. You can go in there and siphon with a little siphoning hose, that giant. I was going to say something inappropriate, but I'm going to get fucking flagged for it. So that thing that men like to use to make things bigger that looks like that, and then you can stick that in the sand bed, and that that thing that hooks to a hose. You can do that when you have a 1-inch, 2-inch, or 3-inch sand bed. And yes, my chair is squeaking. No, I don't have WD-40, and no, I'm not buying a new chair. Here we go. And you could stick that in there when you have a smaller sand bed, 1 to 2 to 3 inches, and you can clean it just fine. But when you get into like that 4 or 6 inches sand bed, you really don't want to be messing with it, because the purpose or the point of having a deeper sand bed at that point is to have those nitrifying bacteria or denitrifying bacteria living in those pockets, breaking down. And then what happens over time is the nitrogen gas will bubble out of the sand bed, completing the nitrogen cycle, which is a good thing. So, but yeah. Let's see if I'm turning my phone down because I got stuff coming in. Make sure that's not obnoxious. Let me grab a swig of water here. Swig of water. All right. Shit. All right. So moving on to the next question. Travis, what is the worst coral purchase you have ever made? Green star polyps. I hate those things, man. Pulsing xenia, I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, God, those two things. I had those in the 125, and man, was that a nightmare. I'm glad that tank was only up for like a year and a half. Ugh, God. Uh, yeah, Scott. They're getting banned potty mouth. Yeah. So green star polyps. Yeah. I mean, some people like it. I mean, just personally for me, that's not my thing. As you guys know, I won't be having soft corals or LPS in any of my future tanks. Just personal preference. You know, I find that green star polyps and pulsing zini. I want to say I'm pronouncing it right, but you know, I say algae, and when most people say algae, I mean, shit. It sounds cool when you say algae, though. But anyway, yeah, so those are the two corals that I would not recommend anybody buy. But if you like the way it looks, go ahead, man. I mean, shit, it's your tank. Do whatever you want to do. Next question, Reef and Chill. I got a 10-gallon water box set up Acropora dominant display. LOL. I'm an idiot, but I love the challenge. Planning on 1 AI Prime, 1 MP10, filter floss, Bucani rubble, and basket. Probably bare bottom. Yeah, I would go bare bottom for that. It's easier to keep clean. But yeah, I mean, shit, it's only 10 gallons. It's not a huge deal. I think you'd be all right. I would put a one thing that I would recommend that you do is put a auto top off. I mentioned that in another video. Put an auto top off on that system, even though it's 10 gallons. Just get that little Nano. I wish I could tell you what it is. It's like the size of a penny kind of thing. I don't remember exactly who makes it, but I have one on my BioCube here, and just throw it in the bag. Put an auto top off on it, because that's where you're going to have your issues with that 10-gallon tank. Is you're gonna go out and do things. You're going to forget what's going on. You're not going to top off the system, and then you're going to have fluctuations in temperature, salinity, alkalinity, and that's all going to cause issues for your Acropora. So top off, and everything else that you have on the system seems fine. Ooh, I went all the way down. I'm going to scroll back up here. So what are we at here? We're at that question was at 2013, and we are at 2032. All right, so not too bad. Oh, now he's going into everything he's going to do. Weekly 1-gallon water changes and 2-part as needed. Yeah, go very slow on the 2-part. Scraping a reef tank hydroxy established a long time. Okay. I will also be monitoring with Apex current system. Cool. Yeah, you just add the PM2 module. You'll be able to see what's going on with it. You should be fine. All right. Next question. Just had a bad case of cyano. It's still around, but not as bad. Got flow pretty much everywhere without going overboard. Phosphates are at 0.03, nitrates at 5. And what else should I check for? Well, if you have cyano, there's no reason to even test your nitrates and phosphates. I mean, you can test your nitrates if you want, but phosphates are pointless because that's where the cyano is already feeding off of it. So if you see cyano in the system, you already have elevated phosphates. It's without a doubt. I mean, you don't even have to test that crap. You can if you want, but you're probably going to get a false reading depending on how much cyano is actually in the system. So your best bet is to manual removal. Stop doing whatever you're doing that's causing the excess phosphates. I mean, I can go on forever. I mean, I got a whole list of things that could be causing it, and just stop doing that, and your phosphates will come down. Manual removal, increase flow. You'll be good to go. All right. Where did you get your barrels for your RODI setup? So the blue one I got, man, I've gone through a few of them. I got that from some guy who's selling barrels in towards Lancaster in Pennsylvania here. But the bigger white one I got from Chemtainer, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, I love that barrel. I'm probably going to do the same barrel again, but it'll be my mixing barrel that I use for actual water changes on the new system. And I'll just keep one for RLDI water like I have now. But yeah, it's nice. It's like $200, something like that. Don't exactly quote me on that. Also, a good place to look for barrels is Tractor Supply. That's where I got that 35-gallon one that I used with salt water when I ship coral out. I top off with salt water, and that's where I keep it in that bin. That seems to be fine. Yeah. Just keep an eye on the plastics. I don't know off the top of my head exactly all the acceptable plastics. You have to do some research on that. You can probably see my videos where I talk about it. That's one good thing about YouTube is you can make videos and then forget everything that you were talking about and then just go back to your own videos. I know that I've searched stuff on Google and got my own videos. I'm like, well, I feel like an idiot. You'll have that. All right, next question. What parts do you recommend for a simple 170-gallon system with few soft corals? Okay, so regardless of the system, I always recommend a drilled tank, period. Drill tank, sump, basic skimmer. Go refugium, so you can go natural with that. Return pump, obviously, and then dry rock, which you're going to have to cure ahead of time, and then do some basic LED lighting. Some cheaper end, you can even do Mars Aqua or something cheap like that. If it's in your budget, you can get something a little bit higher end. Kessel, AP700, stuff like that. Get like 2 or 3 of those for that system. But yeah, that's at least if the tank is drilled, you got a sump and a decent skimmer, you'll be fine. Go natural. Don't worry about a ton of stuff. And yeah, moving down. How do I find the daily consumption of Calcan out? I don't know how you find the daily consumption as in like the exact number. I do know that there's probably a calculator out there. You can put your water volume, your current level, and then what it is like 24 hours later. I'm sure somebody's created something like that. I don't really worry about that stuff just because it's not necessary information. I don't care how much my tank uses. I just make sure that I keep it as stable as possible. So if I'm dropping, from 9.5 one day to 9.3 the next day, then yeah, that's a little bit of more of a drop than I'm gonna want. So I'm gonna turn on my calcium reactor to keep it at that 9.5. So that's how I look at it. I don't pay attention to the exact amount because it's irrelevant and doesn't impact your decision making and how you're gonna fix it. At least most of the time it doesn't. Yep. I think as long as you're clean for the first 5 minutes of YouTube, you're good to go. Well, apparently not. No, I heard that thing too, Kyle. I heard that if you're good for the first few minutes, you're fine. But people can flag you for certain things that you say. I mean, there's something I said particularly a couple weeks ago that had to do with everything that was going on, wise, and I got slammed pretty hard. So, yep. Yeah, man, it's interesting. You can just laugh. You just got to laugh at it at this point. You really have to, because if you don't, you're going to go insane. I put a lot of work into this channel. Is there like 670 videos in 4 years? I mean, they're not all good. Trust me. I don't even watch my own content because it's that bad. So I'm surprised you guys are. But yeah. But yeah, I did hear that, Kyle. What's the connection between dosing aminos and dinos? Well, I don't know the scientific connection, but I will tell you that if you're dosing aminos and you have dino, it makes dino worse. I firsthand experience know that that's a fact. Because when I stopped dosing aquavita fuel and the aminos, the dino went away. Then when I implemented it again a couple weeks later, it came back. So I don't know the exact scientific relationship between it. Apparently, the dinos are feeding off of the aminos. I mean, aminos are a building block of food source and growth and all that good stuff. So yeah, they're probably feeding off of it one way or another and growing. I mean, it only makes sense. But yeah, so I do recommend in my guide, my dino guide, one of 3 of them that I have on when you submit your dino to my my website there. They all have the same thing in common. Don't dose your aminos during the dino phase. So your tank will be all right, man. If you're dosing aminos and you're growing dino, you're not doing anything for the coral because the dino's using it, right? So and if very little's getting to the coral, so there's no reason to even use it anyways. Your tank will be okay if it doesn't have aminos every single week. It's not gonna die on you. It's not gonna keel over on you. You'd be all right. If you're worried, if you're honestly worried and you've gone like a month or so and you haven't been able to dose any your aminos and you think your levels might be off, do an ICP test and confirm it. I highly doubt you're going to be in any kind of danger zone. But yeah, so that's about the best answer I can give you on that. I'm not a rocket science here. I'm just a bald dude behind the camera making videos that apparently I think I know everything. It's because I do, motherfucker. Anyway, moving down. I gotta be good. James, I'm sure you've heard this already, but I wanted to say thank you for all you do in the content to improve my journey to hobby 100%. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it, James. And one thing that I get often, and I might as well mention this, if you guys are seeing success because of things that you're learning from the channel, send me an email, okay? I will reply to you. It might not be that day, it might not be that week, but you're gonna get a reply from me at one point or another. Just say, hey, man, this is what my tank looked like before when I was following other people on YouTube and didn't learn anything, and this is what it looks like now. Send that stuff to me. I like to know positive feedback, reinforcement, that you're learning from me and doing well. And yeah, and the proof is in the pudding. Listen, if you're on YouTube and you're telling people that they need to do certain things, if your tank looks like crap, no one's gonna believe you, man. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not in front of the camera. It's one of 2 reasons. Because I guess I'm just gonna go off on this for a minute. You don't need to see me. I'm bald. I got a beard. I'm not that great looking. Right now, I'm currently rocking, I wouldn't say man titties, but I got something going on there. It's because, you know, gained a little bit of weight. My medication is kind of swapped around. So you don't need to see me. When I talk about something, what's the point of me being in front of the camera? Look at the display tank. Look at what I'm showing you. That's the proof of what I'm saying is correct, right? So the second reason why you don't see me on camera is over the last several years, I work for a private investigation company here in Pennsylvania. I know the chances are almost minute, non-existent that I'm going to get recognized in public. I go to frag swaps right now and people don't know who I am, and I'm totally fine with that. But that's why I don't. That's the second reason why I don't get in front of the cameras, because of what my job was before. Now I still do that stuff on the weekends. It's not my full-time job anymore, but I still don't take any chances. Now there are a couple videos on the channel where you can see me if you want to see me in my glory. Back in the day, there's a filter stock video. Man, I was 6 weeks out from a bodybuilding competition in that video, and not anymore. I'll tell you that, man. Too many cheeseburgers and working in a basement like a freaking hobbit, man, has gotten to me. But it's okay. That's cool. I still know how to shoot a gun. That's all that matters, right? You don't need to run fast when you're a good aim. Good aim. At least that's what my sergeant always said. But yeah. So I don't know how I got on that, but here we go. I guess we're gonna move on to something else. Yeah, I appreciate the support, man. All right. Hey, Travis, any more news on the 1,000 gallon? Thank you for all you, sir. Yes, Terry, I mentioned that earlier. The build will happen hopefully within. We're gonna start building the house in the spring of next year. That's, God willing. If everything works out, it's a very complex process, and I'm learning it as I go here. You think a reef tank is complicated? Try getting a plot of land in the middle of nowhere and then getting everything hooked up and building. That's a whole new journey that I'm experiencing as we speak, and it's a lot of work. But as soon as I know about the new tank and the new setup, you guys will know. Trust me, I will keep you in the loop. Moving down here. You can tell when I can tell. I don't know if anybody else is like this. Let me know if you guys in the comment section. When I start getting a little bit heated, my ears start getting super red and super warm. I feel like freaking Dumbo with red ears right now. Just feel it. It's probably blood pressure. Probably from eating all that sandwich. All right. Moving down here. Fish Hex. What are your opinion on Ruby Reef products? Never used them. I don't have an opinion on that. Sorry. Just going to help you out. I'm looking at 3D printers too. Do you recommend Prusa? Hey, man, if you got the money, Matt, go ahead and buy them. My printers work just as good, if not better, than Prusa at the moment because of the sheer amount of upgrades that I have on them. I mean, they went from $300 printers to $700 printers, if not more. And that's not even counting the mistake upgrades that I've gone through. But yeah, I know Prusa's pretty expensive. They work very well. I've never used a Prusa printer before. I was just kind of assuming that mine are pretty good because I'm full of myself. But on all seriousness, though, my printers work very well. You just got to do the upgrades and take the time to build them, and that's what I actually enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, if you got the money, man, buy Prusa. I do use Prusa as my slicer, though. I got the Ender 3 mod or adjustments or profile inside the Prusa, which is really nice. So great software. Enjoy that. Love your nitrates and phosphates wiped out my Dino. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's pretty popular. My new bottles will be here in 2 days because I only got like 4 left. So yeah, hopefully that works out. I really do. I hate buying new stuff from companies, especially stuff like that with that much money, not knowing how it's going to turn out, man. I hope these bottles are good. They're the right plastic. They're the right color. They look the right shape. I hope the guy doesn't send me a box full of dicks because, I mean, a lot of dicks, a lot of money. So, yeah, Scott's right about that snail I was talking about for the sand bed. You guys are talking to each other. Do you ever add cleaning bacteria like one and only or other nitrifying bacteria on a regular basis? No, not the probiotics. Well, right now I am adding Dr. Tim's Eco Balance, which is actually a probiotic. I am adding that currently. Very, very small amount. I think that my tank recommends like 500 milliliters a week, some crap like that. I'm dosing like 100 milliliters twice a week. And I'm doing that, but the bacteria that I'm currently adding on top of that is from Aquavitro Fuel. It's called Seed. I'm pretty sure I'm trying to look at it now. I'm burping at the same time. It's called Aquavitral Seed, Fuel Seed, and it seems very good. I mean, the tank is just doing really well. I mean, I've changed quite a bit of stuff. I am doing some stuff for my Chaeto. My Chaeto's come back. Everything is just doing very well. I stopped pissing in my tank, so yeah. Actually, on Facebook, somebody asked, "What do you put in your tank, and what do you what do you dose and everything?" I went through the whole list, and then at the end, I go, "I piss in my tank once a week." Hopefully, they know I'm kidding, but someone's out there like Fish of Hex. He told me to pee in my tank, and I did, and now everything's dead. Well, you must not know him very well because he was definitely joking. So, disclaimer: don't piss in your tank. Okay. Was it floating near the surface light? I don't know. Chad, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. You're talking to somebody else? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm at 8:30, and yeah, I'm almost 20 minutes behind in the chat. Whew. Andy, I swear to God, you're asking the same question as somebody else asked. Are you and the other guy like buddies or something, just asking the same question twice? So I answer it. See previous answer, man. If not, you guys must just be thinking alike. Oh man, it went all the way down. Give me a second to get back up here. Speaking of bubbling, no more hot dogs ever again. I don't know, man. I like hot dogs. I don't know if anybody else is like this. I know Scott likes this, but the natural casing hot dogs, man. Oh, geez. Back in Vermont, when I was a kid, you can buy the whole box. You can buy, I think there's like 20 or 30 of them in a box, and they're all stringed together. They're like just a giant string of hot dogs, and it's got the natural casing. Oh, I love that. I don't know if it's the texture or the snap or whatever. I love those hot dogs. I have a very difficult time finding them here in Pennsylvania, and when I do, they're pretty expensive. So let me know if you guys like that stuff because I love me some natural hot dogs. Casing. I don't care what's in it. I just like the casing. Oh man. Okay, so Brandon, you must be talking to the other guy. Okay, good. So talks amongst yourselves. Dan, do you know what corals use bromine for? I have a ton of mushrooms, a few LPS and a few SPS, 200 gallon overall. Asking because when I get my ICP test back, it always shows I need more bromine. It promotes coral coloration. I don't know the exact. I mean, I've read this before. It's kind of like I mentioned before. You read something when you can, and then you forget it when you don't need it anymore. But I'm pretty sure it has to do with improving the coral coloration, and you can get that if you dose something like Aquavitral Fuel. It has bromine in it. Don't go out of your way to dose just bromine and to increase that with a separate product, spending a ton of money. Don't do that. Consider using if you have other stuff that's low, consider using something like Aquavitral Fuel or something like that to increase those levels. But yeah, it's not going to make or break your entire system. So I wouldn't go overboard on it. But if you want to add something like Aquavitral Fuel, you should be all right with that. Moving down. Any tips on setting up an AI prime for a reefer 170? I don't have the option of renting a par meter currently. I hate giving people advice on how to set up a light on a tank that I don't have, with a rock structure that I don't see, and all that information without a par meter. I don't feel comfortable giving you information. I'd say turn that bitch to 100%, and if shit lives, it lives. Just kidding. No. You really should get a par meter. You don't have to rent one. You can buy the Seneye Reef and keep it in a drawer. I bought one and I rent it out to people around me. Make a couple bucks. Like, yo, give me $20. You can use it for as long as you want. Bring it back. That's what I do. But yeah, I might consider doing that in the future. I might consider renting out Seneye Reefs for you spend like $20, $15, and then you pay for shipping, and then you send it back. And if you don't, I'm going to bill your credit card. So maybe I'll do that. That sounds like a fun thing, but it'd be a cheaper way. It's not like those $500 ones, man. I can't afford that. I mean, I can, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, man, I can't really tell you how to set up your lights without a par meter because I don't want you killing stuff. I don't want it to be too. You just got to get a par meter or do whatever looks good to you. We have currently 86 people in chat on a day that I wasn't planning to be on here, so I appreciate everybody who is in the chat and sticking around. If you have questions, add them because we'll stop when the questions stop. or until I get really bored or I have to take a dump. I mean, those are about the three things that are going to prevent this live stream from going on. So, yeah. Moving down. GSP or green star polyps is a poor man's version of wanting coral that sways in the tank. Yeah. I used to sell a ton of that stuff back when we were cutting down the 125, and I was sending out. When I first started selling coral, when I broke down that tank to come over to this one, I sold a ton of green star polyps, and it sells really quickly. It's one of those things that if I wasn't terrified that it would spread through my display tank, or somehow, like even if I had it in a frag tank that's attached to my main display, I'm still petrified that it's going to end up in my main display and it's going to be a nightmare. Because my luck, it would have a little baby and somehow get through the filter socks and somehow, get into the main display. But GSP GSP is the poor man's version of wanting corals to sway in the tank. That's for sure, and that's okay because a lot of people like GSP. I like it. I just don't like it in my current tank. I really liked it before when I first started out because my clownfish used to host it. It used to host my clownfish. Got to back that up. You can't say it the other way around, or someone's going to give me crap. You do know that the clown doesn't host the anemone. The anemone hosts the clown. You should say that right. You're giving bad information. Oh man, I've heard that. About $1 for every time I heard that. I could probably buy a new 3D printer. Accepting dollar donations at fishofhex@gmail.com at PayPal for anybody who wants to do that. Moving down. Keep up the content. Keep up the content. Love your work. And honestly, potty mouth. Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thanks, man. All right, you guys are talking to Brandon because apparently my advice isn't good enough, so he's got to ask everybody else. Whatever, Brandon. You're just like my real brother. What are your thoughts on people that don't use mechanical filtration? You can do whatever you want. I mean, me personally, I like mechanical filtration because you get stuff before it has a chance to break down. It doesn't end up laying in your sump. You don't have to clean out the gunk and the crap in your sump. It keeps the water column clear, which everybody likes. And all you really got to do is you just got to clean this stuff. Or if you're using filter pads, you can throw them out. So, and speaking of that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section now. Gonna be 3D printing a ring, kind of identical to the filter sock ring. And I'm thinking about this. I'm going to wrap the filter sock around it and sew it so that it will sit right inside. So the ring is inside the filter sock and it will sit in a 4-inch holder. So let me know what you think about that. I have I already built it. I've done a couple test prints. I just haven't done it because I haven't bought another sewing machine. And the reason why I haven't bought another sewing machine is one, the place I buy it doesn't have it right now, the one I'm looking for, because there's a particular stitch that I'm looking for to help with the fraying. And two, I don't feel like spending the money on it at the moment. So if enough people are interested in it, hit me up. And if I feel like it will justify the price, then I'll do it. It's just going to require time, and I'll pay somebody to make filter socks for me. That's not a big deal. But anyway, moving down. Yes. Yep. You're right, Chelsea. Tractor supply for the bear. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about because that's all I brought up before. What's up, Travis? How are you? I have a refugium that always my Chaeto dies. My nitrates and phosphates are 0, but I still have algae in display. Please help. I need a phone call. Well, if you need a phone call, you can head over to my website and you can purchase Skype or phone call time. Just purchase it. I bill per hour. And then once it comes through, I'll email you. My chair squeaking. I know I got to adjust. My ass is going on. Oh, demonetized. Damn it, man. I know that's loud. I'm sorry. But I can't. I'm not buying another chair right now. Mainly because I like the color of this one and I can't find one that has a better butt cushion and the same color. It's just one of those things. But anyway, so you have algae in your tank, but yet you have 0 nitrates and phosphates. Well, the reason why you have 0 nitrates and phosphates is because of the algae in your tank. So you need to back up a little bit, George. Okay. So you have 0 nitrates and phosphates because the algae in your tank is sucking up the available nutrients. Point blank period. So what you need to do is you need to find the source of the potential nutrients. So double check your RODI. Make sure you have 0 TDS. Make sure the filters are good. You got all that good stuff. Next thing you want to check is to make sure you're not overfeeding, you're not overstocked, too much going on. Natural filtration, the skimmer's working, all that good stuff. You're not adding chemicals. You don't have somebody pooping in the sump. There's a whole bunch of stuff you got to take into consideration to make sure that there is nothing getting into the tank that's going to increase the nutrients. So once you do that, and I can help you do that over the phone, we can go through it. your nutrients will come down, and then the algae in the tank will go away. And then at that point, when the algae in the tank is gone, you can keep a consistent 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates, a 0.07 to 0.15 of phosphates, and then you can introduce chaeto to your refugium. And at that point, the chaeto will use up the available nutrients within the water column, and that's where it will grow. The chaeto will grow and then prevent the algae from growing in your main display. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. All right. What camera and lens do you use to record your videos? I use a phone. I don't know what this phone is. What is it? This is a Galaxy something 10 plus Galaxy S10 plus, 4K 60 frames per second. And I just use one of my orange filters that I used to sell on the website. I don't sell them anymore because it's just one more thing I got to do that I don't personally enjoy. But yeah. Matt, I really appreciate the content. Hey, no problem, man. Appreciate you being here. All right. Yeah, you guys are talking amongst yourself. All right. I have a bleached Monty. When do I give up versus pull the rock and dip? How do you know if it's pest or you screwed your levels? Okay. Well, first of all, do the easy part. Check for pests. You're going to want to look at the tank at night. And since it's a Montipora, it's probably a plating Monty, I'm assuming. When it comes to Montipora eating nudibranchs, they will live at the base of the coral underneath. So what you're going to do is at night, get a flashlight. You're going to look at the underside of that Montipora with your flashlight. And you're going to see they're going to be little white, little jokers freaking moving around in there. If they're not out on top of the coral having a snack, you'll see them. You can't miss them, man. They're in there. They're little white looking Frankenstein. I don't know. They're just, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're nudibranchs. So you can even, what I would do is go ahead and, just to help yourself, go ahead and Google Montipora eating nudibranchs, which you've probably done already. You know what they look like already. So at night, just shine a flashlight underneath there. You will be able to see exactly if they're eating it. And that's where I would start. And then keep an eye on your water parameters, Chelsea. Just check them. Make sure they're good. If you're not having major dips in alkalinity, make sure your test kits are not expired. That's an issue that I've been seeing with people. If your test kits are expired and you're trying to have consistent numbers, but you're not getting them because your test kit's jacked up and you're making decisions based off of inconsistent numbers and you're causing unnecessary stress. So make sure your test kits are good to go. If you can, have multiple different types of test kits. So Red Sea alkalinity, and then get a HANA alkalinity. Double check, compare the numbers, be good to go. Make sure they're not expired. And then check for pests at night, because that's when the pests come out. When the fish are sleeping and they feel safe, they're going to come out and mess around. And that's what I recommend. If you're looking for pests, do it at night. All right. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Desi Anderson. It's my buddy here. My buddy. What's up, Desi? Still beautiful. What are we at? Yeah. I'll help him fix his computer after this live stream. Get his computer up and running. All right. 8:41. So I'm not that far behind. I am a hobbit. I'm well aware. I purchased a medium-sized acro and an STN next day. What's the best thing to do? Shall I frag it or leave it alone? Well, STN as in there's only a little bit left. The thing with STN is that it can happen pretty quickly. And unfortunately, I've had STN happen where it was just at the base of a pretty large colony, and I would even cut the tips off to save them because I knew the whole colony would eventually go and they would still die. That's why I'm pretty convinced. I'm like, man, look at the 40 gallon in the video. It's like nothing in it. It's so low, so small with no corals. That's why I'm almost 100% convinced that STN and RTN are really bacterial related. I just, my gut tells me, I don't have any scientific proof. My gut tells me, because unless the entire coral is just straight out stressed out, that's why, because you got to think, if you have like an inch, say your colony is 10 inches, right? That's what she said. And the first 2 inches at the base are STNing out, but yet you cut, you cut, I almost said the C word. I almost did. Whew. I don't know why, but it almost came out that way. Instant demonetization. But anyway, say you cut the last, 3 or 4 inches at the top off, and you got all that gap between where it was STNing originally and where you cut it, but yet those pieces still die. That's why I'm really convinced that it's bacterial. But I don't have any proof. I'm not a scientist. Shit, I'm just going off of what's happening in my tank, what happens to people I talk to, and what I read on the internet. I really wish if I could go back in time, I would have done things differently. I would have went for marine biology. I would have had a great time. I'm even considering starting classes now, but I ain't trying to add any more to my life at the moment. I don't think I could if I wanted to. The perks of having a successful business, I suppose. You can't do anything else. You can't have a life. But anyway, yeah, I really wish I could have learned more. Marine biology would have been something that was great, but now I decided to do military, go the police route, and do all that stuff. So, but it's okay. We all make decisions. We all live with the decisions we make, and we adjust fire and move on with our lives. Yeah. So I wish I knew more, but I kind of went pretty. I went off on that one. So what I would tell you to do is leave it alone, because, I mean, if you don't have at least a few inches in between where you can cut it off, it's probably going to die anyways. I mean, if you want to just cut a piece to see, you can. I mean, shit. I mean, take a shot if you want. It's really your call at this point. Now, after all of that, let's go to move on to the next question. Appreciate everybody being in the live stream. We have 90 something. Seeing 93 on my end, then 88. You know, I appreciate it though. There's a lot of people here, and I'm only like 20 minutes behind on questions. So, moving down to the next one. I've been trying to raise my nitrates and phosphates by dosing neophos and neonitrate. Been doing 30 milliliters each day for a week, and it's still reporting 5 ppm nitrate and 0 PO4. All exports removed. Well, dose mine. Mine's got a higher content. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't ever have to dose that much, man. That's crazy. But keep dosing. Increase the amount. See what you're getting, man. I mean, that's all I can tell you. I mean, if you're not getting any results, obviously your nitrates are decent. So leave those alone, and then dose your phosphates to get that stuff where it should be. Or you can buy mine. I have a pretty high concentrated stuff. You don't really have to dose that much. I have so much of a high concentration in my nitrates that it precipitates out, depending on the heat. But it still works though, so that's all that matters. And that's something I got to adjust someday. But yeah, just keep dosing, man. It should be all right. Sorry, I yawned. I didn't mean to have that on camera, or not on camera, on the mic. I was trying to turn away, but I was reading a comment during that. Anyway, I have heard some bad things about Fritz, like people having problems with Montipora. You guys, it's not Fritz that's doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not saying that just for the sake of saying it. Most of the time, it's not the salt that's causing any kind of problems. It's really not. It's something that you're doing outside of the salt. And I'm just going to leave it at that, man. Everybody wants a scapegoat. Everybody wants to find a reason or somebody to blame. I mean, that's just life in general. You're probably messing something up, and that's why you're killing off your coral, man. It's very rare that a salt is going to have that problem. I mean, it's very rare. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. You know, bad batches of stuff happen. It just they do. It happens. I'm not going to say. I mean, maybe I have a box. I have a few boxes right now. Maybe I have a bad box. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I'll tell you right now, every time I open up a new box of salt, regardless of the brand, I test it. Calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, nitrates, phosphates. I test that stuff. Yeah. But if you're assuredly convinced that it's the salt, you can head over to my Teespring store, which you can find the link in my channel, and you can buy one of my t-shirts or my pillow that I got from my cat that says "Blame it on the salt." So, if you're gonna, at least support me in the process. Moving down. Uh-oh, I went all the way down. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry if I made you yawn. It happens. What do you think of products like KHG and Alcatronic? Andy's Reef, I don't really have a thought on it because I've never used them. I don't want to give opinions on stuff that I haven't used. I think that's unfair and not right. It's like somebody giving a review on my products and never using them. I mean, why would you do it? Why would you give your opinion? I mean, unless you're just trying to be an asshole. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a thought on it. I guess if I if I get one in the future, I gotta get another drink of water. I'm choking on wieners over here. But yeah, I mean, if I get one in the future, I'll let you know. All right. No, same. Yeah, same here. My ears get red and pretty hot, and blood pressure issue. I had that when I was my whole life, since I was a little kid. I had my ears would get really warm when I was, I don't know, whenever I get anxious or whatever. And now that I'm fatter, it still does the same thing. It's no different. So I don't. It might be a blood pressure thing, and maybe. Not too concerned about it as long as my ears don't pop. Speaking of that story, when I was a kid, I know my mom doesn't listen to my live stream, so it's all right. Or maybe she does. If you guys, I mean, we've all had our moms cut our hair, right? So my mom, I used to have a bowl cut. I was rocking a bowl cut all the way through grade school, all the way through high school. I was the biggest fan of Backstreet Boys. I was that guy singing all that stuff on the bus. I was that weirdo, right? So my mom's cutting my bowl cut, and she cut the whole top of my ear, like not the cartilage part, but the part above the cartilage. That's like the squishy part. Yeah, because that's the technical term, Travis, the squishy part. And she cut the whole damn thing off. And I grabbed it. I'm like, Mom, you cut my ear off. And I just started just bleeding all over the place. She's freaking out, trying to figure out. I had to go to the hospital and everything because it just wouldn't stop bleeding. She cut the whole damn thing off. So not only did I have a jacked up bowl cut because she was afraid to finish it, so I was lopsided bowl cut, but I was also had a chunk of my freaking ear missing. So yeah, that's me. That's me in grade school. Crooked cut, ear misser, whatever. They didn't call me that though. It was much worse. But yeah, so there's story time over. Moving down. Ear frags. I have 2 chats up, guys. So sometimes I see stuff come in sooner, like when you guys first start to say it. And then I have stuff that I have another chat where I highlight your guys' comments. But yeah, ear frags. That's pretty funny, buddy. That's funny. Oh, and it's from my favorite guy too. We'll see Reeves. Ear frags. Oh God. Matt's headed out. Thanks for all the advice. You're probably gone by now. This is what at 8:45. Yeah, he's gone, man. Hey, well, Matt, if you're listening to the rest of the stream, thanks for being here. Appreciate the questions. I'll see you next week. Moving down. What salt do you use? Question mark. I use Fritz Blue Box. I've used it from the very beginning of this reef tank. Before this salt, the 125, I used a couple different ones. I used HW Marine Mix. Before that, I used Reef Crystals, and before that, I used the standard, the other version of Instant Ocean. That's what it is. Yeah, Instant Ocean. So that's my progression of salt, and I've never had an issue with Fritz, so I have no intention to change. It's good stuff. It's got good amount of potassium, which is real nice because I burn a lot of potassium in this tank for some ungodly reason. Moving down. Auto water changes for a BioCube, yes or no? It depends. You can, but the point of a water change for me personally is to remove detritus. That's really the only reason why I do a water change. And if that's not the reason why you need to do it, then go ahead and do automatic water changes. For me, it just wouldn't work. This wouldn't be something I was able to do. Robert just came in. Hey, what's up? Hope all is well. Everything is well for the most part. Life is life. Life is always life. How's the new location coming along? I'm not sure what you mean on that. You're talking about for the new house? It's coming. If that's what you mean. It's a work in progress. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. But if it's meant to be, it will be. That's kind of how I look at just life in general. And I mean, it took me many years to adapt to this, but if something's meant to happen in your life, it's going to happen. So I create content on YouTube. If I'm meant to make a sale on my channel, I mean, on my website, I will. If I'm meant to have 1 million subs, I'll have it. If something's meant to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is build up your good karma points and cash them in someday. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, we go from there. Oh, let's see. Moving down. Next question. I'm curious how you prefer to cook venison. I bought a Green Mountain smoker, and it's so bitchin'. I don't hunt, but I fish. My freezer is full in tuna and salmon. Okay. Well, when it comes to venison, in this house, we eat 2 things with venison. We eat deer tacos, or we make venison stew with, the standard stew with like potatoes, carrots, all sorts of stuff like that. That's all we eat. Or in beef jerky. beef jerky. It's not beef, Travis. It's deer. Venison jerky. I just call it beef jerky because it looks like it. Anyway, yeah. So for me, I just make for that stuff. When I just sent out my hunting license, got my archery tag in, even with the Corona stuff. I still got my tags. Sent out my doe tag on Saturday. Hopefully, we'll be able to knock 3 deer this year. And then I have my veterans hunt every year up north. So hopefully, I'll be able to knock another buck up there. I'm pretty excited. Or another doe, whatever I can get my hands on. But yeah, I prefer to just I break everything down. I usually do mostly ground meat. I almost said beef again. I usually grind up most of the deer because that's what we use. But I do save the really good steaks, and I do save the backstrap and stuff for special occasions and stuff like that. But that's about it. 3 different things we eat: deer tacos, stew, and jerky. That's about it. And I still have deer from 2 years ago in my freezer. It's I got 2 last year, 2 the year before that, 1 year before that. So get some water real quick. But this year, man, if you guys haven't seen my bow upgrade, my Hoyt Hyperforce, I did some serious upgrades to that bow. You guys can check out the pictures on Instagram. I will do a separate video on it and upload it to my other channel, Everything Fish of Hex. I will upload it to that during hunting season. But man, 82-pound pull, that thing, 570 grain weight on the arrow, man. I'm smoking targets at 100 yards, no problem. Automatic built-in rangefinder into my sight gives you the drop pin. I mean, it's just red, white, and blue. America strings, America's best bow string. I mean, drop some money in that, but it's so nice. I mean, 82 pounds feels good, feels real good. That's what she said. Moving down, I'm done talking about hunting. You're gonna get me off on that, and I'm gonna be able to move on to the rest of this. Where did you find the seed? I got it from a buddy. He works for Carolina Aquatics. You might be able to check that out. And you might be able to buy it from him, but I bought a gallon for it. It is not cheap. That is not cheap. That stuff is expensive. Next question from Gabe. What do you use to hold your Seneye sensor? I use an old algae scraper. I am considering making something for the 3D printer. I saw a few things, some ideas. I got to obviously make a different version of it. Man, my throat's super fucked. Let me turn the mic off here and clear my throat because I'm losing it over here. All right. I should have left it on because it was a lot of shit. But yeah, I'm just kind of too much talking, man. I've been rocking here for what, over an hour? Damn, son. My throat's not used to that kind of action. Some of you guys are like, yeah, it is. Anyway, moving down. I will make something for the Seneye Reef. I just don't know when, Gabe. By the way, how's your SPS doing? I know that you got it in time, thankfully. Hopefully it's doing all right. Any tips to bring out pinks in SPS? Potassium, don't quote me on this, but I noticed that the pinks in my corals got better when I had a little bit higher level of potassium. I'm almost positive that's the correlation. I know that it's good for your blues and your purples and stuff. Pinks, I'm almost positive that plays a role in it. You're gonna have to do a little bit more research because I am not the source for that at the moment. But yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you're in here just chilling and you've been here. Hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I don't know how many we have. I know we have 1 thumbs down, which actually was there before the stream started. So kudos to that guy or girl or whatever the hell you identify as, a potato or whatever. Kudos to you. If you don't realize this, if you thumbs down, give my video a thumbs down, it still promotes my video. So I'll take it, man. That's one thing you guys got to understand about YouTube. And I might as well talk about this too, is when it comes to YouTube, no matter what you do, or you just even being in the public eye, even though I am behind the camera, I am in the public eye, you're always going to have people that don't like you for whatever reason. Either you're successful, maybe you grow a better beard, maybe you got, I don't know. There's a million reasons. No matter what you do, there will be people that don't like you for whatever reason. There will be people who make rants about you. There will be people who talk crap about you. It's always going to happen. There's nothing you're going to do about it. And the more subscribers you get, the more it's going to happen. The best thing you can do is be yourself and move forward and keep documentation and recordings of stuff like that and use it if needed later. That's how I sum it up. Just understand that that's how this community is. And thumbs down is just one way of somebody telling me to go bang myself or whatever. But it honestly, it really doesn't mean anything to me. I've had videos get thumbed down like crazy. I never turned the subscriber count off. I've never turned the thumbs down or up button off. I've never done any of that stuff because I never needed to. I don't really care. It's not a big deal. You're not hurting my feelings. Anyway, moving down. Andrea, what was that you deleted? I can't see it on my end. Go ahead and text me what that one you deleted was. I don't remember because I can't see it on my end right now. Move it down. Have an opportunity to buy a Skims calcium reactor for $250. That's a pretty good deal. I've only dosed 2-part, and the tank is only 7 months old. Should I invest in a calcium reactor or just stick to the dosing? Yeah, keep it. Yeah, you can get the calcium reactor. Only thing you're going to have to do is make sure that you keep the pH a little bit higher in the reactor so you don't melt the media as quickly, and then make sure your flow rate, your effluent rate is not that high so you're not dumping excess in there, and then just balance it out. So what you'll do is you'll bring the calcium reactor online. What you do is you keep your pH at the higher limit of the whatever is recommended for that media. It's different for everybody, and then go ahead and slowly dial down. Okay, yeah, thanks, appreciate that. Go ahead and dial down the 2-part over time, right? And then slowly increase the effluent rate or drop the pH in the calcium reactor. That will balance out, because you're not going to go cold turkey on one method and then start up another method right away, because you're going to avoid some fluctuations. Is that John? Holy crap, I haven't seen that guy in forever. John, mask wearing John. I haven't seen that guy in forever. Welcome back to the stream, man. Anyway, but yeah, so just get the reactor and throw some media in it. Put the pH a little bit higher, of course, where you can still break down the media, and then just slowly transition over, and then just stay at the calcium reactor and enjoy it. Don't forget to add some magnesium media in there, like Reamag, so you can keep your magnesium at a good level. All right, and don't go overboard. Just start at like 5% of the total media as magnesium. I'm just stumbling over my words today. How many snails do you keep? Not very many. I have big old Mexican turtle snails and then a few little ones. I have virtually no cleanup crew. I got to get some. If you guys are not aware of this, I used to sell a lot of my fucking 3D printer is being a wiener right now. Why are you so loud? Oh, okay. My buddy Brian, who passed away of cancer, you guys know about that. He was my invert guy. That's where I got all my inverts from. That's where I bought from, sold through him, did very well with it. And, when you're buying, say, for example, if you're buying emerald crabs from a guy from Brian, I was buying them for, less than $1. And then, I have to go, if I want them now, I got to spend like $6. That's a hell of a nut to swallow, man. And that's probably going to get me flagged for saying that. I don't know how to. It's too late now, but so I haven't really invested in the cleanup crew, and right now I won't lie, I could use some hermit crabs, some blue-legged hermit crabs in my frag tanks. You guys know, if you're following me on Instagram, I went ahead and cleaned out all 3 of my low boy tanks yesterday. I had some algae growing on the bottom glass, just part of the adjustment that I'm making on the system, and we'll talk about that in a later video. Getting a drink, and it's just one of those things that I've just experienced a little bit of algae in the bottom, but it wouldn't hurt to have some blue-legged hermit crabs to come in there and do a little bit of work for me, so I don't have to do that. But everything's good now, and I'll have to get some stuff later. I can't buy a blue-legged hermit crab for $1. Excuse me. That's what they're selling them right now. I used to get them for 11 cents a piece. I just can't buy them for $1, man. I can't do it. I mean, and then you'll get it and it'll be dead, and you'll be like, well, there goes $1. So I don't know. And I'm not really looking for invert guy. What Scott's messaging me. It's dropped here. Okay, cool. Hey guys, thanks for keeping my moderators. Thanks for keeping me in loop on people coming in. Appreciate it. I do apologize for my voice, man. I'm all like, I don't know. It's going away. It's a lot of talking. You got to think I'm up here running my mouth for the last hour and 20 minutes. It's interesting. But yeah, moving down. Reef and chill. Travis, the video is just a loop. To be honest, you could have dump and just be discreet. We wouldn't know. What are you talking about? I missed it, man. Travis, the video is just a loop. To be honest, you could could take a dump and just be a discreet. Yeah, but you guys would hear, you wouldn't hear anything in the background. So I'm good on that though. Hey, I try to do my stuff before the video starts. Anyways, are you still getting high-end Acropora? Would like to have some fish of hex. Millie, I have several high-end acros. Yes, I am, but right now, Terry, I'm not getting any more coral. I do have some higher end stuff. I have some higher end stuff in the 300. Plus, I have some of my other tanks. But right now, I'm not getting anything else because the way I look at it now is, for example, let's say I get a go ahead from the bank and everything gets settled down, and we start having to break ground in the fall. I mean, in the spring, I'm gonna have to sell everything. Almost everything out of this system. Now I am going to set up a temporary tank at the new place, which I'll sell out of while we're building the new one, because of course we need to keep revenue going. But there's a lot of coral that needs to be sold, and I'm not interested in bringing in any more at the moment because I think it's just going to add to trying to sell it now. So that's just how it is. But I do have plans for very high end acros for the new setup, and I will get them. I got all the time in the world for that system, so I'm no rush. What is the new channel you are looking to move to, and can you put a link? Well, it's just look up Fish of Hex on BitChute. I have my videos are automatically going to BitChute. They kind of stopped like a month ago. I got to figure out what's going on with YouTube. Maybe YouTube doesn't like the competition; they stopped doing it. But I'm going to be transitioning over to BitChute, and then eventually I will be over there full time at some point. I don't know when. I mean, I'm still getting subs here. I got 100 subs yesterday. I mean, I'm still getting subs. I'm still getting views. I'm still getting a paycheck. I'm still getting sales from YouTube. I'm just gonna, be a little bit nicer, a little bit more quote unquote PC. That way I don't lose 4 years of work for something dumb, because that would be pretty devastating to lose 650 some on videos for saying a bad word. I think it's crazy, but it happens, and I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah. So I'll let you guys know if I move over to something else full time. I'll keep you in the loop. Don't worry. Moving down. We're at 8 minutes and 50. Holy crap! I am so far behind. See this? I'm running my mouth, and this comment right here is about the filter socks, which is at 8:52. Damn, son. We still got questions coming in. Yep. All right, let me get back up here. Man, I'm going to have to speed through these a little bit quicker because I think 2 hours, my voice might be done, to be honest with you guys. So we're going to move through. Travis, any advice on adding a Lobo requirements and placement? Yeah, put it at the bottom of the tank. Give it plenty of room to grow. They have, depending on the Lobo, they have quite large sweeper tentacles. So don't put anything near it that you don't want it to die. I mean, my guy controls Zoas, no problem. It has no problem doing that. And anything that touches it dies pretty quickly. So, yeah, you're good. They don't really need a lot of light. They don't need a ton of flow. They just need space to grow. You'll be good to go on that. Moving down. I just set up a small frag tank, and it's connected to my main sump. My problem is the algae grows like crazy in my frag tank when my main display has no algae at all. What am I missing? Well, you have really high light over that frag tank, I'm assuming, and it's outcompeting what's going on in your main display. So what you want to do, Mervin, is get the algae to grow in your refugium with your macroalgae. So have another source of light. Keep your refugium on a little bit longer. Turn off the lights sooner on that frag tank, or turn the intensity down. Also get your nutrients in check. That way you're not, there goes my chair. That way you're not promoting algae growth in the first place, and you won't have any problem. Another thing you can do is get on top of it and remove it, manually remove it. What I'd like to do, and I did this yesterday, is I make a filter sock holder that connects to a 5-gallon bucket. I used it. I must have changed out 100 gallons of water yesterday. Not even kidding. Just getting stuff out of the tanks and cleaning up all the detritus. And honestly, at the end of the day, I only did a 20-gallon water change because I removed the water, siphoned everything into the filter sock, and then dumped the water back in the tank and just continue to do that process. And you can. I think you might have already purchased one. The name looks really familiar. But the filter sock holders on the website are perfect for that, and they hold a 4-inch filter sock, connects to a 5-gallon bucket, and you can do as many water changes, quote unquote, as you want. You just pour the water back into the system. Drinking more water, drinking more. How do you keep the bottom so clean? I want to run without sand too. Just do what I just said previous. I use the filter sock, and I clean out the detritus, put the water back in the tank, and that's what I've been doing. Or just siphon it out during the water change. Man, my voice is taking a crap. I do apologize, guys. I am trying to keep going, but I feel like I spend more time trying to clear my throat and not getting any information out. So I apologize for that. How do you get those green tips on your mangy tort? More light, less. It's less light. More light tends to promote different coloration. So less light, I see a little bit more green. What beginner corals would you advise? I'm new in reef side of the hobby. Well, as I mentioned before, easier corals to grow that a lot of new people use or like to have are green star polyps, pulsing ixini, any kind of zoanthids, mushrooms, leather corals. Those are all very good beginner corals. Then you want to move up to hammers, torches, frog spawns, lobos. Excuse me, gonna burp. Man, I got shit going on everywhere. Those are kind of things you want to look into when you're first starting out. And then when you feel comfortable with that, you can move into easy SPS like Burst Nest, Monteporos, and stuff like that. Oh, God, man. Ooh. Hey, Travis, when are you going to ship internationally? Man, I ain't doing that for a long time. I'll probably consider doing it once I relocate. I'd have a bigger facility, more room. You guys should see me now. When I'm doing orders, I have a system now where I have a basket. So each order gets a basket. And then I set the baskets out on the floor in a row, and then I just go through and fill them. Everything stays in that basket up until the point where I'm putting in the weight of the package and then shipping it out. So for me, I don't have enough room now. I usually send out 20 or 30 baskets. I'm able to ship quite a bit of coral now because I have a pretty good method. I got a new computer over and new setup over at the workbench or packing bench. But right now, I'm not. If I go full into international shipping, I'm going to need somebody here full time to do all that paperwork and to do that, or it's just not going to get done. So when I relocate and Scott comes on full time, Scott from Roscoe's Reefs coming on full time, probably get another full time employee. That stuff will be promoted. We'll do more of that. We'll have our own food. There's a lot of things that I have in the works, but right now, space and time is the biggest issue that I have for the company. Doing very well. I just need more space and I need more time in my day. I literally start my day at 7 a.m. down here, and I end it at 10, 11 o'clock every single day. That's an entire day of working every single day, and I still don't get everything done. But, it's okay. I enjoy it. And as long as you enjoy it, I guess that's all right. So, yeah. What's up, Rob? Blame it on the salt. Fritz is not the problem. Okay. We don't need to open up that can of worms right now. I don't want to ruin the stream. Moving down. All right. Let's see what we have here. Ear frags. I finally got to the ear frags comment, mostly Reefs. 20 minutes later. Damn. All right. How did you construct your aquascape in the 300 gallon and in the 40? I'm using an Marco 400 right now while listening, and it's literally bulletproof. Awesome stuff. Well, I have videos on both of those things. Reef Chill. Go to the 300 gallon playlist. You can see my whole aquascaping, and you can go to the 40 gallon shallow reef playlist, and you can see that aquascape. To sum it up for you, I drilled for 1/2-inch acrylic rods, and I used a crap ton of super glue for the 300. And then for the shallow reef, I did a crap ton of super glue, and I aquascaped them both dry. Yep. All right. Broken ear hair bowl is Travis Warrior. Yeah, man, rocking the bowl cut. I love that, man. I'm telling you, Backstreet Boys was a thing back then, man. I used to sing it all the time. My first CD, actually, that wasn't my first CD. My first cassette was Backstreet Boys. My first CD, anybody want to take any guess? Exhibit. Yeah. So I was, I used to have subwoofers underneath my bed, and oh man, I used to pretend I was rocking in my car with my subwoofers, and I'd be listening to Exhibit X. Oh my God. Oh God, I remember that. Oh man. And I used to watch Pimp My Ride and all that stuff. So get this, I got a bowl cut. I'm just giving you guys the image here. I got a bowl cut. I'm living in a busted trailer park, and I'm rocking out the Exhibit. Palest, whitest, ghost-looking kid ever. And man, those are the days. Those were the innocent days. Oh man. X. Pimp My Ride, man. That show was awesome. Anyway, moving down. All right. Do you think a reef, I guess that's reef, crystals is worth paying more over regular instant ocean? Sure. I mean, I think, who is it? I don't know if it's Sanjay. I know there's some higher end people that still just use Instant Ocean and have beautiful reef tanks. So the only issue I ever had with reef crystals, and this happened twice and was the reason why I moved to HWM Remix, is I had elevated magnesium levels of 2,000 parts per million. It was just a bad batch of salt. And this could have all been avoided if I did what I said earlier. And what was that? Every time you open up a new box of salt, test your water parameters. Test to see what you got going on. And if I did that, I would have never had elevated levels of potassium, or not potassium, of magnesium, and it would have never been a problem. So rest in peace to all the snails because of my inability to do things correctly, but lesson learned, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, if you want to pay the extra, you can. I don't really remember off the top of my head, Rob, exactly what the difference is between Instant Ocean and reef crystals. I don't remember. There's probably elevated calcium and alkalinity, I'm assuming, just because of reef, quote unquote, crystals. But yeah. So you can do what you want, Rob, but people have been really successful with regular Instant Ocean and still are. Hit that like, please. You know, you don't have to. Let me see how many we got. We got 45. We got 2 dislikes. Oh, man. I'm going to give myself a dislike just so I can have 3. No. All right. We got what? How many people in here still? 86. Damn, son. Either you guys have no lives and you have nothing to do on a Friday night, or you just really love the sound of my voice. I'll think it's the second thing because I'm full of myself, so I'm told. Glenn's here. What's up, Travis? What's up, Glenn? I'm late to the stream. Yes, you are. But I will rewatch it tomorrow. Hope y'all do good. Have a good weekend. Yep. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a pretty good stream so far. Definitely like it. Hey, Travis, I bought a 15-pack SPS from you. They are all still striving well. I bet you meant thriving well. Thriving well. I'll forgive you on that. When do we have some high-end frags ready to sell? Right now, the highest end you're going to get is going to be the cut-to-order stuff. That's where you can get some higher-end frags at the moment. But as for like Walt Disney's and Orange Passions, that kind of stuff, they're encrusted on the rock in the 300, but it's going to be a while before I cut those colonies, so I wouldn't hold your breath for them. I have a ton of WWC yellow tip. I mean, a ton of this coral. I'm talking frags that are like 3 inches tall. I got right now. I would say 2.5 low boys completely packed. Completely packed. I got to go through and cut some more coral tomorrow because I'm getting full. I got the big staghorn in the 300 sticking out of the top of the tank right now. I got to get in there and cut that. Got to get that done. So I don't know when I'm going to have some higher end stuff. The best bet is to go into the cut to order, and do all that. So guys, look at this video up here right now. That is the 40 gallon. Look how nothingness it is. It's crazy. Moving down. Is there a place you recommend when people ask you for fish? Not anymore, because just like my inverts, my fish connection went away when Brian left this world. So, I don't have a fish place. I don't have an invert place. So it's going to be interesting when it comes time to fill up the new system. But, we're going to play by ear and see what happens. I don't have a recommended one. I don't feel good about buying fish online without seeing them ahead of time. So if you can't do that, go to your local fish store, see the fish, see it eat if you can. I mean, there's only so many times a day they can feed the fish, but, make sure it's healthy before you buy it. And, of course, quarantine your fish. I just ordered a Hydra 32. Are they good lights? You should have answered that question before you bought the light, man. Never used them. I can't tell you. But, yeah, man, those are the questions you ask before you drop the money. Dig in with Cruzy. Yeah. You got to ask those questions before you spend the money. But I'm assuming you have a pretty good idea that it's a good light or you wanted to bought it. So, moving down. I'm going to skip through these pretty quick. George said he just bought a Skype call. Let me see. I don't see anything come in yet. Maybe. Looks like, I got a couple things come in. George, I see it here, man. I'll email you after the stream. If not tonight, I'll email you in the morning, and we'll set up a time, all right? It's going to be in the afternoon, usually in the evenings, Eastern Standard Time, but if that doesn't work for you, we'll figure something else out, okay? I appreciate the support, and we'll talk soon. The Crown of Glory was fully STN by 8 p.m. The Cali Tour is trying not to die. Everything else is good. Oh, let me know, man. I mean, I can help you out. I mean, I have a pretty good relationship with you. So, sucks the Crown of Glory, man. That thing sat there on that rack forever. I know that we got coral from you. I mean, you ordered coral and then it sat for a long time on that rack. That's something I'm going to do differently next time. Is if somebody orders something and has it sit for a couple months or a month or so, I'm going to put it back on the rack below. That way it gets more light all the way around the coral. So lessons learned on that. But keep me in the loop, man. I mean, we'll figure something out. At this point, if you put another order, I'll just send you another Crown of Glory. You got to give me a heads up because I got to give it 2 weeks to heal. So if you're not ordering another cut to order item, then you got to give me 2 weeks so I can cut it. That way it ships out accordingly. But yeah, I'll take care of that for you, man. It's not a big deal. One thing you guys understand is if something happens to your order because of all this COVID stuff, I have no problem working with people. Like the other day, I sent out an order again twice. I usually don't do this because it's against my DOA policy. But the company, the UPS, never even delivered the order at all. It's gone, straight up gone. So the guy said, "Hey, I'll pay for shipping again," and I sent him all the corals again. So I took a hit on those corals before, but that's okay because the way I think of it is, hey, I'm going to help you out now. You'll come back later for more coral. So I'm not too worried about it. But one thing you understand about me real quick is if something happens, like it's safe for a while there, a lot of stuff going to New York City was getting delayed. The shipping overnight to New York City just wasn't happening. And right now, I don't know if it is. I haven't shipped anything to New York in a couple of weeks, but it was an issue. So people were getting stuff like 2 or 3 days later, totally not my fault because my DOA policy doesn't cover that. I'm not responsible for shipping errors and stuff like that. But if you email me and you say, "Hey man, UPS messed up. Is there anything that we can do to get the coral back out?" Then yes, I'm like, yeah, all you gotta do is just pay for shipping again and I'll hook you up. That's not an issue. But if you come at me and go, "Yo man, you did this, you did that," and you just really are just a jerk, I'm gonna send you a link to my DOA policy. I'm gonna tell you to pound sand because you give me respect, I'll give you respect. If you're a dingleberry to me, I haven't said that word in a while. I'm gonna be a dingleberry times 2 to you and tell you to pound sand. That's just, I know that's not the greatest thing to do for business, but if you want respect, you better give it. That's all I'm gonna say. And I've worked with anybody in every situation over the last. I've done what 3,000 orders in the last 2.5 years, something like that, something ridiculous like that. I've worked with everybody who was nice to me. Look at all the reviews on my channel. I mean, on my website, I got a ton of reviews because if you're nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to you. But anyway, I don't know why I went off on that. We are how long have we been going, man? Jeez, hour and 40 minutes. Anything new in your sump? Nothing, man. My macroalgae is growing again for the first time in 6 months. Pretty happy about that. We'll talk about that in a later video. Moving down. Yeah, John, miss you. Man, I was honestly thinking about you in a non-sexual way the other day. I was like, man, I haven't seen John in forever. Is he okay? And I was like, man, hopefully he didn't die. That was my first thought. I was like, man, hopefully you didn't die. And then here you are. So I'm glad you're okay. And I'm glad you're back. Moving down. Got my chiller installed, Travis. Sweet. Worked out the kinks and temp control. Soon corals from you. Awesome. Yes, chiller. A lot of people are getting chillers now that I put that video up. And awesome. I'm a shout out to JBJ making all that money. You could send me a little bit of a cut. Would be nice. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I'm glad you guys are getting the chillers because it's an awesome investment. I mean, it's up front, but it's definitely good. That's like 4 people the last couple of weeks that told me they just got chillers. Sorry, man. I have got to go. If you see my post, send me a reply. Appreciate it, man. I'm pretty sure I answered your question already. I'm almost positive I did. So hopefully you can catch it during the stream. I hate for you to listen to a hour and 40 minutes of me talking to try to find your question. Hey, Travis, how's it going? How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Keep up the good stream, Johnny. 101 verse. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I'm doing my thing, man. As long as I'm still here and I don't get deplatformed, and we're gonna keep rocking. You guys notice I did not take my medicine tonight, so I'm not cranky. Hey, guys, listen. This is the reality of life. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody does something, and not everybody. I mean, my mood's not consistent all the time, and I don't think yours is consistent all the time. So I'm not to say that next week maybe I had a bad day. maybe I'm gonna be a little cranky. I'm gonna try not to, because that usually leads to being demonetized and getting strikes. But I'm doing pretty good so far. I'm all right. Moving down. How's the Robert says, how's the bacteria regimen doing? It's doing pretty good. I'm assuming the benefits that I'm seeing right now are because of the bacteria regimen, but I'm not going to know. I need a little bit more testing. I need a little bit more time. But so far, tank is doing pretty good, and I'll talk all about that here in the next couple months. I just got to give it more time. I don't want to make a video on something that I don't want to tell you to do something if it's not good. So I'm going to do a couple more tweaks. But right now, I'm riding on a tank that has the best coloration that it's ever had. Period. Yeah. So we'll talk about it at some point, but it's doing good so far. What kind of salt do you use, George? I use Fritz Blue Box. Yep, she answered that. Appreciate that, Andrea. Appreciate that, Scott. How is a Duncan as a starter coral to test the tank? It's a good tank. That's a good starter coral. Don't blast it with a ton of flow. Just have it moving a little bit. I'm burping, but you should be fine. That's a good starter coral. It's not too expensive either. I wish I sold them when I was selling them. When I was importing those things, man, I sold a ton of Duncans. Actually, do I? No. I have candy canes on. I just cut some candy canes from the 300. I have those on the website, which are a good starter coral, but I don't think I have a Duncan. I don't remember, to be honest. It's on the WYSIWYG section of the website. See who's here. We got 93 people watching. Holy crap. Appreciate that. I'll take what I can get, especially 2 hours in almost. All right. Okay, here we go. Next question. I switched over my tank to the bigger tank, and my acros were happy at first. Now they are a little pissed. Would you say that they're still adjusting from the move? New setup has been running for 3 months. Okay, so they're probably not adjusting to the move. If they weren't completely stressed within the first 72 hours, or with limited polyp extension or paleness and stuff like that within the first 72 hours, or even the first week after the move, it's probably not because of the move. Well, right now you have a bigger tank, you have more water, so you need to keep on track of your nutrients. You got to make sure that your water parameters are stable, as they should be a little bit easier now with a bigger tank. Just do exactly what you were doing with the previous system, and sometimes it just takes time. Did you add more rock? I'm assuming you did, since you upgraded. So the rock has to colonize the beneficial bacteria, which is going to take time. It just takes time. Yeah. So I think you're okay. Just keep doing what you're doing. And Travis, let me see here. Oh, I missed one. What was hanging from the rear mirror? From your rearview mirror. I don't know what you're talking about. What was hanging from? You might be talking to somebody else. I don't know. I must have missed that. That was 15 minutes ago. Travis, buying 45s at $1 back in the day. See, this is what sucks about getting the comments, because I don't know what we were talking about to get that. I apologize. Okay. Reef crystals is this is answered the question for somebody who's asking the difference between reef crystals and instant ocean. Reef crystals is elevated. Everything for the reef is basically it's a very dirty salt, and I don't recommend it. Okay, well, there's your opinion on that. I will agree with Jason. It is a dirty salt. When I was using it before, I had to clean up my mixing barrel once a month. I mean, it's pretty dirty stuff. How do you get around that? I don't know. It wasn't dirty in the fact that I was having elevated nutrients like nitrates and phosphates. It wasn't dirty like that. It was just physically the barrel was dirty. I get a little bit of that with my Fritz, but nothing even close to reef crystals. Not even on the same level. But yeah. So there's your answer for the difference between instant ocean and reef crystals. Thank you for that. Yeah, hard work a week. I need a break. Don't want to think or do anything. Yeah, it's perfect time to listen to me. All right. See you here. You guys are stepping out because it's getting late where you are. Appreciate for those of you on the other side of the country staying up late listening. I appreciate that. There we go. Finally got my chiller up and running, Travis. Gonna wait a week, work out the kinks. Okay, Sean. Okay. Oh, I think I already got that question. Appreciate it, man. You have a different profile picture on this one, but your name is the same. You must have changed it and put the comment in again. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you were in the previous profile picture. I definitely love your channel. Appreciate it, George. Appreciate it. that's the story on my inverts. Sat in Florida for 6 days. Okay, you guys are talking about that. I'm getting down to the end of the question. So we might be winding down here after an hour and 45 minutes, which has been one of the longer streams in a long time. We're still rocking 95 people in here. Appreciate that. See if we can break 100. Doesn't matter either way. If 2 of you jokers are in here, I'd be okay with that. But I'll take 96, no problem. Let's see here. I've got a 90 gallon with 2 XR15s G4 Pros, and I only get 150 to 180 par, 10 inches below. What? The water line. Running the 80 plus at 100%. Should I add another XR15 or T5s trying to acros? Okay, so you have the XR15. How? Okay. First of all, first question is, how high is that light off the water? You're looking, if the recommended is what, 7 to 10 inches, I believe it is, for that light off the top off the water surface. I'm pretty sure. So first of all, make sure you're at the right level for that, and then make sure when you're testing, you're actually doing it. Make sure the par meter is level to the light, so you're getting an accurate reading. If it's tilted, you're going to get an off reading. I'll tell you right now, my lights are 7 inches. Granted, I have 2 XR15s next to each other. Okay, my lights are 7 inches off the tank water, and I have like 800 par at that level. Okay, it's pretty ridiculous in certain spots. I would say the average is probably like 600, 500, 600, something like that. But in some spots, it does peak. So, yeah. But again, I am running 2 next to each other, kind of like an XR30. So that's definitely, that cross light is playing a role. But, yeah, I think your lights might be too high. And it wouldn't, I mean, if you're not going to grow a bunch of acros at 150, 180 par, it's just not going to happen. Especially at 10 inches below. You have a 90-gallon tank. So what the tank is, 24 inches tall, maybe something like that. I'm not really sure what a 90 is. Maybe 18 inches tall. But anyway, that's not going to be good enough. So you're going to have to either get more lights, double them up so that the light actually crosses itself in the tank, so you get that extra par. Yeah, that's what I would do. Just get more LEDs. The T5s are not going to add significant par. They will fill in the shading. It's nice supplemental lighting, but you're not going to get sheer par from just adding supplemental T5s. It's just not going to happen. All right. Any memorable stories with acquiring any of your fish in your tank? Well, Big Blue here. You guys know the blue, powder blue. I got that from Scott from Roscoe's Reef, who's actually one of my moderators here. He took his tank down. Got that guy. He came from New Jersey. We hung out. So that fish, so I got that fish. I was driving a Hyundai, I think it was a Elantra or whatever. So I drove to New Jersey, drove back, and when I got off the off ramp, the car, for whatever reason, we just bought this car from a friend, which was the worst mistake you can ever do. Don't ever do that. The head gasket must have been leaking, right? So all the oil was gone, and the oil, once the oil pump light comes on, the warning, you're already in danger. So I was going up the hill, the pump light kicked on, and then it just started screaming. The engine started screaming. I finally got to pull in the sheets, and it died. Killed the engine right there. Many lessons learned on that. Don't buy a vehicle from a friend. And if you do, make sure you have some kind of agreement written down. If they don't do it correctly, they know cars, quote unquote, and they really don't know cars. Then yeah, you're going to be screwed. So lost a lot of money on that. And lessons learned, of course. But yeah, so that's my story associated with Big Blue here. I killed a car getting him. So was it worth it? No, he's a jerk, but he's cool. It's cute. That's about it. So Scott's gonna be like, my fish is not cute. He's cool. Anyways, moving down. If at first you don't succeed, maybe skydiving isn't for you. Yeah. That's true. Oh, you were talking about your car back in the day. I was wondering if you hang anything for rear mirror. Nope, never did that. When I learned how to drive on an old Toyota, was a 5-speed manual. So I took my driver's test on a manual, which was stupid, but I passed, so I'm thankfully for that. But my aunt used to have those giant dice hanging in the mirror, which was just it was just distracting and pointless. But yeah, so that was the only thing they ever hanging from my mirror. On the reef crystals, you have to run an internal filter in the bucket. a typical submergible aquarium filter to clean out just by better salt. Yeah, you're right, Jason. Yeah, you just want to buy better salt. If you have to filter your salt water after you make it before you put it in your tank, is probably not what you're looking for. But I mean, the salt did well. I did well on the 125 for quite a while, and then I had the 2 bad batches of salt, and I just kind of threw in the towel. Yeah, this my experience. Yeah. Best phosphate level for a mixed. I don't know, 1. I mean, you're in the middle there. 0.07 is 0.15. Stay at 1. Let's keep it in the middle, man. It's good. Oops. I used to have a Fluval Evo 51L and could never get my corals to work. Is it easier to keep them happy in larger tanks? Larger tanks, having a larger tank is easier because you have more water volume. More water volume means less of fluctuations when, say, your auto top off stops working, or you accidentally add too much 2-par, or whatever mistake you make. The more water you have, the less impact that's going to have. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna go on. I was gonna go off on something, but we'll keep going. Under the bed, who does that? Anyone else? Oh yeah, I made my subwoofer box. You guys are gonna give me crap on this. I don't care to tell you. So my first subwoofer box was a 12-inch JBL. It was a subwoofer I got from a friend who lived in a trailer just down the street, and I hooked it up to some. I hooked up a car sub to a amplifier that's made for your house, so that's already a mistake. The ohmage was not right, and then I made a box out of a bookshelf. So God, I can't believe I'm even admitting this. So I took like cases and hard material, and I glued it to kind of block off the box, and then I put my subwoofer in there, and then I put stuff around it so it was enclosed, and then I put a little hole on the side so we could have some breathing room for the sub, and I put it under my bed. And then because that helped muffled it kind of like a trunk. And then I would sit there and lay on my bed and be rocking out to Exhibit X. I wish I could play that song for you right now, but I'd get flagged and then have to deal with that. Appreciate it. Thanks for being new to the stream. Let me know if you guys find me. Let me know how you found me. Did you find me on Facebook? Did you Google search me? Was it recommended on YouTube? I'd be interested to know, especially the YouTube stuff. I'm getting recommended at all. What is that clownfish playing in on your? That's a goniopora. It's an LPS coral. I wouldn't say it's a beginner coral, but it's definitely something once you get going in your tank, it's very, very nice. So the clown, I'm gonna say this the right way so I don't have people saying anything. The goniopora hosts the clownfish, and she just chills in there, and or it's actually he. And right now, all three I have 3 clownfish in the 300. I have 2 black ocellaris that I adopted from Pecco many moons ago. Those used to be in the I think it's been like 3 years, almost 4 years with those fish. And I have all 3 fish. They're just this little love triangle, and they all hang out in that thing at night. It's pretty cute. All right. What's going on to the right of the Goni? Zoanthids, I'm guessing. There's a few different corals. There's zoanthids there. I'm pulling up on the screen now. There's zoanthids. There's a LPS here and a chalice here, which this chalice is gone. I cut off a bunch of this LPS. I cut off this chalice here. Man, we're running out of time. That's pretty much it. I don't know what else would be going on there. Left. Mushroom. That watermelon chalice, which I have on my website. Not many frags of it. I made some DI food, fish food, similar to your video, and the fishies and corals love it. Yeah, man. Much cheaper than buying it. Thanks for that. Yeah, no problem, man. I will tell you guys right now that I will be making that and selling that in the future at the new place. I got a ton of requests for it, so we'll do dry ice, shipping, all that kind of stuff. Of course, deal with all that. But yeah, that food, making your own fish food, if you can do it, if you have the equipment like the food processor, or not food processor, I use a meat grinder. But making your own fish food is amazing. You can make a ton of food for a minimal amount of money. You just got to put the effort in and make sure you have the right proportions and all sorts of stuff based on what your fish eat. It's very good. to make your own fish food. And yeah, what's good about it is the way I grind it up is that it's so excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. Running out of time and I'm losing my voice. We're going to try to do another 6 minutes. So when you grind up your fish food, like in the I guess it's my deer fish grinder, my meat grinder. When you grind it up like that, it's so small of particles. So when you put it in your tank, you of course turn off the return pump, you turn off the feed mode, you turn off the power heads, let your fish eat, and then what you do is your feed mode. When it's done, you're gonna have your power heads kick on first. Make sure your return pump stays off. All right, let your power heads run for about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're gonna blow all that extra particles of food around to your tank, and you'll see the polyps go crazy. And what I do is I also feed phytoplankton at the same time with my fish food. So they get, while they're already feeding, they'll get the phytoplankton and all the benefits of that and get the fish food. And then what happens is after about 20 minutes or so, you have your main return pump kick on and all that excess stuff will get picked up by the filter socks and everything and go back to normal. So that's how I like to feed. And I mean, I'm seeing success with it and you seem to be doing pretty well. So it's got to be working. All right. You might have missed my first message on the cleanup cruise. Cleaning my team very well, tank very well, and there's no algae anywhere. Is that okay? Yeah. I mean, if they're cleaning and there's no algae, there's no problem. I mean, I'm trying to think. You might have missed my first message. The cleanup crew cleans my tank very well and there's no algae anywhere. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's not big deal. They'll find something to eat. Cleanup crews will find something. Usually the only thing that kills a cleanup crew is another cleanup crew member. Like if you have snails and you have a hermit crab that wants that shell, it's going to kill that snail to get the shell. So that's how you lose your cleanup crew, or they die of old age, or they get sucked into the power heads. That's usually what kills them. And thanks for all the orders that came in. We got a bunch of orders that came in tonight. I will look through them. And Gabe, I see you put an order in. Email me with what 3D printed item you would like. Go ahead and I haven't seen the total yet, but whatever. If you're over 2, just tell me whatever, whatever, for whatever $100, just tell me what you want and I'll get that done for you. All right. So yeah, we are kind of running out of time here. As you guys can see, I'm kind of low on my video. Let's try to get through these real quick. 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't think I'm going to do it. Okay, I just got a HANA checker for copper, but I'm still confused on the correct ppm for copper. What's the correct level to kill it? You have to see at the side of the box. I don't know at the top of my head. I can't tell you the exact number. Look on the side of the Coopermine bottle. It will tell you what ppm range you should stay in. Okay, moving down. Recommended on YouTube. Great, that's a first. Must be because I'm not swearing as much. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all your guys' ears, but I found you from a recommendation on Grindr. You, my friend, win the internet today. You win my internet. That's fucking hilarious. I thought I took my profile down, but that's sweet. YouTube face review at 40K. My face is already on the YouTube channel. Just look up like filter socks or some shit from Fish of Hex. You'll see me on there. Back in the day. I mean, what, 4 years, 3 years, whatever. Sulfur Story is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, that's my life. Right now, you can believe my truck, it might be, it's a F-150 crew cab. I got kickers on that bad boy. I love subs. I've always loved, not like back in the day when I got back from Afghanistan, I spent some serious cash on some obnoxious 8,000 watt subwoofer system for my Lancer. That was the biggest mistake I made. My car was brand new car, falling apart because of subs, way too loud, unnecessary. Now I just have some kickers in my truck and they thump hard enough to rattle the mirrors and rattle the truck, and it sounds pretty good, but that's about it. I like bass. Speaking of loud things, I sold my bike today. Yeah, I hope the guy who bought it, I mean, his brother came and picked it up with him, and his brother drives it because he's learning, right? He's learning how to drive a motorcycle. I mean, he's drove one in the past, he said, and then he has like a scooter or whatever. But my motorcycle is tuned for straight up top speed, fastest acceleration. It's got a pro tuner on there, a power commander, sorry, and it's a fast bike. And I was so hesitant to sell it to him, but I was like, he's going to learn on another bike, and then he's going to ride it eventually. But his brother is like popping wheelies on it, and his brother comes up, he's like, yo, bro, he's like, you ain't driving this for a while. I mean, it's no joke. So if you guys want to see what that bike looks like, head over to my Instagram and you guys can see it. But yeah, it's gone. Appreciate the super chat on that. I don't know what 4.5 or 499 euros is, but I'll take whatever, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, got onto that. Loud things. Man, we're running out of time. I hate to cut this short. Oh, man. Military. Yeah. So I started off as 19 kilo and then I reclassed 11 Bravo and I was a Mark 19 gunner in Afghanistan. I was on the Humvee. I was the guy standing up in the Humvee with the Mark 19. That was my job. Sucked. Got a lot of sun. That's why I don't like the sun now. It's kind of why I like staying inside. I got my forearms were exposed most of the time. My face is exposed. It's pretty bad. I got a lot of sun issues because of it. But anyways, I got to skip some of these guys just because my voice is taking a crap and we are almost out of time. Do you have a video on coral placement? I know you mentioned it was a lesson learned, like putting stags. I do. I'm pretty sure I do, Robert. But if not, I'm going to write it down and we'll make that for you, right? I'll make it for you. How about this? How about you search the channel because I'm too lazy to. If you don't find the video, email me, remind me, and I'll make it. All right, I'll make it in the next couple of weeks. Because the video that's coming out this week, I'm going to try to have it done by Monday, as I mentioned when the beginning of the stream is the reef tank ugly phase real or is it a myth? We're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about what is the reef tank ugly phase. We're going to talk about how it happens, how you can avoid it, and things you can learn and all good stuff, and you guys will learn from that. So that's the video is going to come out this week. I might have something else depending on what's going on. But guys, we are done. We are at 2 hours. My voice is done. We have 80 people in the stream still. Appreciate it. So guys, the new live stream will be Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to go for 1 to 2 hours or until the questions dry up. All right. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good weekend. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, head over to fishofhex.com, 3D printed by Coral, whatever you want to do. And I appreciate it. All right. Later, guys. Peace.